Today, I want to talk about something that drives us, something that brings color to our lives, finding your passion. We've all heard the phrase, follow your passion, but what does that really mean? And more importantly, how do we find it? Passion is not just a feeling, it's a fire inside you. It's that thing that energizes you, makes time fly, and fuels your creativity. It's what makes hard work feel like a privilege. But here's the truth. Finding your passion isn't always easy. It's not something that just appears one morning. It's something you discover through curiosity, action, and reflection. Passion is uncovered, not handed to you. Many of us wait for a light bulb moment, but passion is often a slow burn. It comes from trying new things, failing, adjusting, and learning. It shows up when you least expect it, sometimes in a hobby, a conversation, a problem you want to solve. You don't need to have it all figured out today, but you do need to start, explore, step out of your comfort zone, listen to what excites you, pay attention to what makes you feel most alive. When you find your passion, it gives you direction, purpose, and joy. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. So I encourage you, don't wait, start searching. And when you find what you love, pour yourself into it. 1. Passion is discovered, not assigned. One of the biggest misconceptions about passion is the belief that it's something we're born knowing, that it comes to us in a sudden flash of insight or as a clear calling early in life. But in reality, for most people, passion is not a pre-assigned purpose stamped on us at birth. It's not something you're simply handed. It's something you uncover step by step through lived experience. Think of passion more like a treasure buried beneath the surface. You need to dig, search, and explore in order to find it. It doesn't arrive all at once, and it certainly doesn't show up on demand. In fact, many people go through long periods of uncertainty or even boredom before they stumble upon that thing that ignites them, and that's okay. That's part of the process. In our society, there's pressure to figure it all out. To choose the right major, the right job, the right path from the very beginning, but this kind of thinking can be limiting. It assumes that passion is something you either have or don't, and if you haven't found yours yet, then something must be wrong with you. That couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is that discovering your passion often requires you to try things you're unfamiliar with, step into roles you never imagined for yourself, and sometimes even take paths that don't work out. It's in these moments of experimentation that passion quietly starts to take shape. You begin to notice what resonates with you, what energizes you, what you naturally gravitate toward, and what you lose track of time doing. Importantly, you won't find your passion by waiting for inspiration to strike while doing nothing. Passion doesn't emerge from passive thought. It reveals itself through action, exploration, and sometimes even failure. You might start with something you're mildly curious about, and through experience realize it's something you're deeply passionate about. Passion is discovered by doing, not by overthinking. So instead of asking yourself, what is my passion? A question that can often feel overwhelming, try asking, what am I curious about? What could I explore next? These smaller, more approachable questions create a pathway to bigger insights. Ultimately, discovering your passion is a journey, not a moment. It unfolds gradually, often in unexpected ways, and usually only after you've given yourself permission to explore, to take risks, and to not have all the answers right away, too. Action reveals passion, while thinking, dreaming, and planning are important. They can only take you so far when it comes to discovering your passion. At some point, you have to take action. That's because passion is not something you find by standing still. It reveals itself through movement, through doing, and through real-world experience. Many people fall into the trap of overthinking, waiting for clarity before they act. They want to be certain that a particular interest is the one before they commit any time or energy to it. But clarity doesn't come before action. It comes as a result of action. You learn what excites you not by imagining it, but by engaging with it. You find what resonates with you by participating, experimenting, and immersing yourself in different activities, environments, and challenges. Think of it this way. You can read 100 articles about swimming, study technique, and even talk to professional swimmers, but you won't truly know what it feels like to swim until you jump into the water. The same is true with passion. You might think you're interested in writing, teaching, photography, coding, design, or helping people, but you'll only know if that interest is truly a passion once you try it. Once you do, you begin to feel the difference between something that simply looks appealing and something that deeply connects with you. Moreover, action leads to feedback not just from the outside world, but from within yourself. You start to notice what energizes you, what challenges you in a good way, and what you find yourself wanting to return to even after setbacks. These emotional cues are valuable. They guide you toward your passion far more effectively than passive contemplation ever could. Action also builds momentum. The more you try, the more you learn about the world and about yourself. Each new experience sharpens your self-awareness. You begin to notice patterns, the types of people you enjoy working with, the environments where you thrive, the tasks that make time fly. These small observations add up. They form a map that leads you closer to what truly drives you. And here's something else to remember. The first thing you try may not be it. In fact, it probably won't be. But that doesn't mean you've failed. Every step you take, even the ones that seem to lead nowhere, are part of the journey. Each action refines your sense of direction. Each attempt teaches you something about what you want or what you don't. So don't wait for certainty. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect idea. Passion isn't revealed in theory, it's revealed in practice. The key is to move, to explore, to get your hands dirty and your heart involved. Whether it's volunteering, starting a side project, taking a class, or trying a new hobby, the act of doing is what uncovers what matters most to you. 3. Failure is part of the process. When we think about passion, we often associate it with excitement, joy, and fulfillment. And while those feelings are certainly part of the journey, they don't tell the whole story. What many people don't realize is that failure, the frustration, the mistakes, the setbacks is not only common, it's essential to the process of discovering your passion. We tend to view failure as something to avoid, as a sign that we're not on the right path. But the truth is, failure is one of the clearest indicators that we're learning, stretching, and growing. It means we're stepping outside of our comfort zones and testing the boundaries of what we know, and in doing so, we're getting closer to what truly drives us. Passion doesn't emerge in a straight line. It rarely feels perfect from the beginning. Instead, it often starts with enthusiasm, followed by confusion, then frustration, and if you're persistent, eventually a deeper understanding and connection. Failure is what refines that process. It forces you to adapt, to reassess, and to ask meaningful questions like, why did this not work? Do I still care about this even when it's hard? What can I do differently next time? These questions are powerful. They help you separate fleeting interest from genuine passion. If you're willing to return to something even after you've failed, if you feel a strong pull to improve, to try again, to get it right, that's a strong sign that you've found something that matters to you. Passion is often revealed not by initial success, but by what you're willing to endure to keep going. Failure also teaches resilience, a key ingredient in turning passion into something lasting. No matter how much you love something, there will be moments of doubt. There will be days when things don't go your way, when your motivation falters, or when others question your choices. The ability to persist through those moments, to keep showing up and doing the work, is what transforms a spark of passion into something powerful and enduring. Think of any artist, athlete, inventor, or entrepreneur you admire. Their stories are not built on a series of easy wins. They're built on failure, often repeated failure, followed by a relentless drive to keep going. Behind every success is a long history of setbacks, but those setbacks weren't the end of the road. They were part of the map. When you're exploring your passion, failure is not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you're moving, that you're learning, that you're engaged in the process of finding what truly matters to you. Every misstep helps define your path. Every mistake teaches you something invaluable about your strengths, your values, and your potential. So rather than fearing failure or seeing it as a dead end, embrace it as a guide. Let it shape you. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it show you what you're willing to fight for. Listen to what excites you in the search for passion. We often look outside ourselves for answers to teachers, mentors, social media, or career advice articles. But one of the most reliable guides in this journey is something far more personal and immediate: your own excitement. Passion doesn't always announce itself with a loud declaration. Sometimes it whispers through moments of joy, curiosity, and energy. The key is learning to pay attention. Excitement is a clue. It's your internal compass pointing toward the things that matter most to you. When something excites you, when it makes you lean in, feel energized, or lose track of time, that's your mind and body telling you this is important. This is something worth noticing, but here's the challenge. In the noise of everyday life, we often overlook these moments. We're so focused on responsibilities, deadlines, and expectations that we forget to notice what naturally pulls us in. We dismiss our interests as just hobbies or tell ourselves we don't have time to explore them. But what if those small sparks of excitement weren't random distractions? What if they were the breadcrumbs leading you to your passion? To truly find your passion, you have to start tuning into your emotional responses. What topics do you love reading about, even when no one is making you? What conversations make you come alive? What activities make time fly? These aren't random preferences, they are signals. They reveal what naturally aligns with who you are. Listening to what excites you doesn't mean every joyful moment is your ultimate calling. But it does mean those moments are worth exploring. They are starting points, doors waiting to be opened. You might find that a passing interest leads to a deeper commitment, or that an unexpected thrill becomes a long-term pursuit. Either way, excitement is the spark that can light the fire of passion. Also, excitement often reveals what you value, whether it's creativity, problem solving, helping others, or working with your hands. When you pay attention to what energizes you, you begin to see patterns. Maybe you get excited when you're building something from scratch, or when you're mentoring someone, or when you're solving a complex puzzle. These aren't just interests, they're reflections of your deeper purpose. It's also important to recognize that the things that excite you might not always seem practical at first glance. Society tends to reward certain paths, those that are clear, structured, or financially secure. But passion doesn't always follow a linear or traditional path. Sometimes the things that light you up aren't conventional, but that doesn't make them any less valid. In fact, the greatest fulfillment often comes from pursuing what excites you, even when it doesn't make perfect sense to everyone else. To tap into this excitement, you have to make space for it. That means giving yourself permission to explore without judgment, to try new things just because they seem interesting, and to trust your instincts even when they defy logic. It means silencing the inner critic that says, "This isn't useful," and instead asking, "What if this is exactly where I'm meant to start?" Ultimately, your excitement is your compass. It won't always lead directly to your passion, but it will keep you moving in the right direction. It will open doors you didn't know existed and lead you toward a life that feels more aligned, more joyful, and more alive. 5. Passion evolves over time. One of the most misunderstood ideas about passion is that it's fixed, that once you find it, it remains the same forever. But in reality, passion is a living, evolving part of who you are. It grows with you. It shifts as you change, as your experiences deepen, and as your understanding of yourself and the world expands. You are not the same person today as you were 5 years ago, and you won't be the same person 5 years from now. Your interests, values, goals, and even your definition of success will change, and your passion will naturally evolve alongside them. What excites you in your 20s might feel different in your 30s. What once motivated you deeply may give way to something even more meaningful as you gain new perspectives. This is not a failure or a sign that you were wrong before. It's a natural and healthy part of growth. Passion isn't about locking yourself into one identity or one purpose forever. It's about staying connected to the things that make you feel alive and being open to how those things change over time. Sometimes this evolution is gradual. You might start with a love for music, for example, and over time, that passion transforms from performing to teaching to producing to helping others use music as therapy. The core thread is the same: your love for sound, emotion, and creativity, but the form it takes matures with you. Other times, the shift is more dramatic. You might wake up one day and realize that what once thrilled you no longer brings the same joy. And that can be unsettling. You may feel lost or confused, but this too is part of the journey. It doesn't mean your passion was a waste, it means you've grown, and now you're ready for something new. Every version of your passion builds on the one before it, leaving behind a trail of skills, lessons, and self-knowledge that continue to serve you. Recognizing that passion evolves also helps relieve some of the pressure. You don't need to find the perfect thing right away. You don't need to have all the answers today, instead of trying to make one forever decision. Give yourself permission to make choices that feel right for now. Pursue what speaks to you in this chapter of your life, knowing that it may lead to something completely different in the next. This mindset also fosters curiosity. When you understand that passion is fluid, you're more likely to explore, experiment, and take creative risks, knowing that each step is part of a bigger unfolding story. You're not committing to a lifetime, you're committing to discovering who you are over and over again. The idea that your passion should be permanent can also cause people to stay stuck, afraid to leave a path that no longer inspires them because they feel obligated to stay loyal to their original passion. But staying loyal to a version of yourself that no longer exists is not growth, it's fear. True passion honors who you are now, not just who you used to be. In this way, passion isn't a destination, it's a relationship. It requires attention, care, flexibility, and self-reflection. As you evolve, so too will the things that move you, drive you, and inspire you. 6. Passion gives you purpose in a world full of distractions, routines, and responsibilities. It's easy to feel like you're just going through the motions, waking up, checking off tasks, meeting expectations, and then doing it all again the next day. But passion has the power to disrupt that cycle in the most meaningful way. It breathes life into your days. It gives your actions context, your efforts direction, and your life a deeper sense of purpose. Purpose is that powerful feeling that your life and your work matter, that you're contributing to something larger than yourself, something meaningful, and passion is often the spark that ignites that purpose. When you engage with something you truly care about, something that resonates with your core values and natural interests, everything begins to feel more intentional. Your energy is no longer scattered, it's focused. Your goals are no longer arbitrary, they are aligned with what truly matters to you. Passion transforms effort into enthusiasm. What might feel like hard work to others feels fulfilling to you because it's connected to something real and personal. You're no longer working just to complete a task or earn a paycheck, you're working toward a vision, a mission, or a dream. This is how passion becomes fuel. It pushes you to go the extra mile, not because someone told you to, but because you want to. Because it feels worth it, and passion doesn't just impact you, it affects the people around you. When someone is truly passionate, it's contagious. Their enthusiasm, dedication, and joy inspire others. It encourages those around them to dig deeper into their own sense of purpose. Passion can influence teams, communities, even entire industries, not through force, but through the quiet power of someone doing what they love with intention and authenticity. Moreover, when you're guided by passion, decision-making becomes clearer. Life is full of choices, some small, some life-changing, and without a sense of direction, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed. But passion acts like a compass. It helps you determine which opportunities to pursue, which risks are worth taking, and what's worth walking away from. You begin to prioritize differently. You start choosing what aligns with your inner sense of meaning instead of what simply looks good on paper. It's important to understand that passion doesn't always have to be tied to a grand cause or a world-changing mission to give you purpose. Sometimes it's about doing something with heart and intention. Whether it's raising a family, creating art, solving problems, starting a business, or helping others, passion adds depth to whatever role you play. It turns ordinary actions into purposeful ones. At its core, passion helps you connect with your authentic self. It clarifies what you value, what you're willing to fight for, and how you want to show up in the world. That's why people who live with passion often report feeling more fulfilled, more motivated, and more aligned. They're not just living, they're living on purpose. And the beauty of it is, you don't need to have everything figured out to start feeling this sense of purpose. Even small steps towards something you love can provide a glimpse of it. The more you follow what lights you up, the more your life begins to take on meaning, not because someone else defined it for you, but because you did. 7. The journey is personal and unique. One of the most important things to understand about finding your passion is that the path is entirely your own. There's no single roadmap, no one size fits all formula, and certainly no deadline. Passion is deeply personal, shaped by your background, your personality, your experiences, and your evolving interests. What ignites one person's spirit might leave another person feeling indifferent, and that's perfectly okay. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. We see people online who appear to have it all figured out. They're pursuing their dreams, doing what they love, and making it look effortless. But what we rarely see is the behind the scenes reality, the uncertainty, the setbacks, the years of exploration and trial and error that got them to where they are. Everyone's journey is different, and comparing your path to someone else's only serves to distract you from your own. Some people discover their passion early. Maybe they knew from a young age they wanted to be a doctor, an artist, or an entrepreneur. For others, it takes years of exploration, switching careers, and trying different things before something finally clicks. Neither approach is better or worse. What matters is that the journey is authentic, that it's guided by your curiosity, your intuition, and your unique way of seeing the world. Your passion might come from something that seems small or unconventional. It might not be tied to a job title or a traditional career. It might be a way of creating, helping, teaching, building, or simply connecting with others. It might not even be something you share publicly. It could be something you pursue quietly in your own space, simply because it brings you joy and fulfillment, and that's just as valid. It's also important to understand that your journey won't always move in a straight line. There will be detours, pauses, restarts, and even complete changes in direction. Sometimes you'll feel inspired and unstoppable, and other times you'll feel stuck and unsure. That's part of the process. Growth isn't linear, and neither is passion. Every twist and turn is teaching you something about your strengths, your desires, your values, and your potential. The personal nature of this journey means you have to trust yourself. You have to listen more closely to your own voice than to the noise around you. There will always be people, meaning friends, family, or society at large, who try to tell you what your passion should be. But no one else can define that for you. Only you know what makes you come alive. Allow yourself to explore without judgment. Give yourself permission to not have all the answers. Let your path unfold at its own pace. Sometimes the most meaningful discoveries come not from chasing someone else's version of success, but from slowing down, reflecting, and asking, what matters to me? What do I want to give to the world? What kind of life do I want to create? When you embrace the uniqueness of your journey, you also free yourself from the need to be perfect. Passion isn't about flawless execution, it's about honest effort. It's about waking up and choosing, again and again, to follow what feels right for you. And in doing so, you create a path that's not only passionate, but truly your own.